Hey y'all, I'm here to do a video talking about my feeding journey for my daughter. I'm gonna talk about breastfeeding, I'm gonna talk about baby formulas, organic formulas, and a couple other things. So stay tuned if you're interested. So prior to having my daughter, I really wanted to breastfeed. I'm not gonna say I wanted to breastfeed exclusively, but I did have a strong desire to breastfeed. When my daughter was born, she had a brief stay in the NICU, and the nurses asked me if it was okay if her first feeding would be formula, and I agreed to that because I was upstairs and probably would not see her for a couple hours, and that was okay with me. I will say, as a new mother, I was a little bit nervous because I did not want Layla to only prefer formula, but as soon as I went down to the NICU, there was a lactation specialist down there, and she, was like, you can breastfeed her if you want. And Layla latched the first time, and I was so thankful. And this was, of course, after her first feeding. And I'm like, okay, breastfeeding might not be as hard as I thought. But it became a struggle, a little bit of a struggle in the beginning. So after the first latch, my first time breastfeeding, I would say the next day I went to see her and she didn't latch right away. And I was like, okay, maybe this is not as easy as I thought. And I allowed the nurses to still give her formula. The nurses at the University of Maryland told me that if I pumped when I went back up to my room, I could bring down any formula that I produced, even if it was just a little bit. If they had to use a Q-tip and swab her mouth, something was better than nothing. When I went back to my room each day, I really was not producing enough colostrum to take down there, but that was okay with me. As long as she was getting fed, I was okay with that. And I don't want to make this story too long, but upon leaving the hospital, the nurses discharged us with the formula that they were giving her. They gave us a number of pre-made bottles. They were by Enfamil. It was the Enfamil NeuroPro. They gave us probably like 12, 15 bottles to carry us through the weekend. We came home on a Thursday. It definitely lasted us through the whole weekend. So when we got home, my breastfeeding journey was still kind of a struggle. Layla was still having a hard time latching, and I still was trying. I would definitely say it was discouraging because I'm like, I really want to breastfeed her, but it's also tiring. And when you first go home from the hospital, you're just tired. You're trying to get into a new routine. It's just a new life, a new lifestyle, and formula was the way to go for me. But every day I still was attempting to breastfeed. And I would say over a period of 2 to 3 weeks, it got better. It was like each day I was able to breastfeed a little more, and she was latching a little better. It was like she might not latch the first time, but the second or third time, we're good to go. And she began to breastfeed longer and longer. And I was so thankful for that. And I still was giving her formula. So I've been on a combo feeding journey with my daughter, and it's worked perfectly fine for me. I'm one that believes that fed is best. However you want to feed your baby, that's on you. This is a no judgment zone. I get it. I get it. So after returning home, we went through a journey with trying different formulas because Layla was spit up. And I'm like, I don't know if this NeuroPro is the best for her. And she was gassy. When babies are born, their digestive systems are not fully developed, hence why they spit up, they get gassy, all that stuff. They need to be burped. And She was gassy, which was to be expected, but she would just cry and seem like she was in so much pain. So I'm like, let's try something else. So I ended up purchasing the Enfamil Gentilese formula, and we used that for a good period of time. And it seemed to be better than the NeuroPro, but the description on Gentilese says that it's supposed to help with fussiness and like decrease gas and some other things. And I think it helped a little bit, but she still was spitting up. And I'm like, I don't know if this formula is right for her either. And still was kind of gassy. Her gassiness kind of did improve, but I can't say that the issue was completely resolved. After the Enfamil Gentilese, I believe that's when we went to the Similac Pro Sensitive. And the Pro Sensitive was pretty good for her. I would say her gassiness had improved. Now, granted, again, babies are going to be gassy, but they should not be in pain all the time. That had subsided. That cry of like anguish was no longer there. She would still get gassy, but not like how it was. And I can't say it's fully because of the formula. I just think that her digestive system was a little bit more developed. So I can't really say it was the formula because I'm not sure. It could be a mixture of both. And one of the reasons I ended up getting the Similac was because all the companies, Enfamil, Similac, I don't know how to get your information. It's probably from like OBGYNs or whatever. Maybe it's from baby registries. I'm not sure. They get your information and they send you samples in the mail. So I received the Similac samples before I received my Enfamil samples. In the Similac samples, I received the Pro Sensitive. I believe it was the Pro Advance and the something else. I wasn't really happy to keep switching because every time we switch, I'm like, Layla has to get adjusted to a new formula. And if she's gassy, it could be because we're switching. If she has an upset tummy, it's because we're switching. If she starts spitting up, it's because we're switching. If her bowel movements are irregular, her poop is different colors, different consistency, it's because we're switching. And you know, that's not something I really was looking forward to. But thankfully, a lot of that stuff we didn't have an issue with. But you know, you really don't want to switch a lot, but you kind of have to do what's best for you. You kind of have to switch to find what formula is best. So it's like, what do you do? Another thing with formula, you can't just take the first feed of a specific formula and say, oh, this doesn't work for my baby, or this does work for my baby, because it really takes about 2 weeks for a baby to really be adjusted to a formula to see if it really is good for them. So let's say you give your baby Similac and they're spitting up or whatever. It might not be that it's not good for them. It's just, it's something new and their bodies have to get adjusted. I would say we had a decent experience with the Similac Pro Sensitive, but Similac and Abbott, which is their parent company, had a major recall of different formulas under Abbott, Similac being one of them. I go to check the container of formula that we had in there, and it's a part of the recall. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, my heart dropped, stomach is turning. I'm sure the container we had prior to this one that we're using at this point in time was also recalled. I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I'm sure that the previous formulas we were using were probably recalled because we got them at the same place. Yeah. Yeah. And when I tell you, I was on Abbott's Instagram stalking them all day. They just had this measly little post saying, "We're sorry for the inconvenience for families. This is a voluntary recall," and yada, 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 yada. Not really saying nothing, but your heart is just dropping. In the news, they were saying that there were claims from families, parents saying that their babies got sick, that 1 or 2 babies died from using their formula. And I'm like, what in the world? What in the world? First, we have COVID. I gotta make sure my baby is not being exposed to COVID. My daughter has a congenital heart defect, which thank God, like, thank you, God, that it is not serious. It's just something they're monitoring. But it's like, I have these things that I'm already dealing with. Like, this is my moment of 100% transparency. Already got mommy anxiety with everything. And now you tell me that the formula that I've been giving her to nourish her could have potentially made her sick. Like, that is it just it it hurt me, it frustrated me. Just like, I don't know what I gave her. I don't know. Maybe is this why she was spitting up so much? Like, Similac for a while was really, really good. We had a pretty decent experience because it was better than the other formulas we had tried. There were certain times where she would spit up a lot, and it was like, not little baby spit up, it was like she spewed it out. It's a difference between spit up, which spit up is like when babies just have a little bit of regurgitated milk that comes out. It typically stays close to their body, like it'll fall out their mouth and drip on you, drip on them. Spewing is when it like shoots out. It was time where spit up would shoot out, and I'm like, baby, why are you spitting up so much? And I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the formula. Thankfully, she didn't have any other reactions that I know of, but it just was heartbreaking. And I saw so many comments. Like I told y'all, I was stalking the Instagram, and in the comments I was seeing parents like, this must be why my baby spewed up all this spit up. This why my baby had diarrhea for 2 weeks. Maybe this is why my baby was in the hospital and nobody knew what was going on and they sent us home. And maybe this is why my baby's been sick. Maybe this is why. I'm like, oh my gosh. And Similac is one of the biggest formulas out there. And another issue is there's been a formula shortage. And for me, it was difficult because, yes, I was combo feeding. I was still breastfeeding, but only a couple times a day. I wasn't breastfeeding every hour, every 2 hours. It was in between giving formula. So at this point in time, this was like January or February. I'm not producing enough milk at the moment to just completely breastfeed. At that point in time, I was breastfeeding more often because I said, I'm not sure what we're gonna do right now, and I don't trust any of this formula. My mom was like, do you need me to go to the store and buy some more? I'm like, respectfully, no, I don't want you to get any more because it's probably a part of the recall. And at that point, I did not trust Similac at all. Like, I didn't want to go to a different kind of Similac. I just did not want to touch Similac at all. I don't trust y'all. Y'all canceled. And so now I'm like, this is like how many formulas down the line? And I already talked to y'all about, not wanting to change formulas, keep switching because you want your baby to be adjusted to something. You don't want to keep messing up their little tummy and all that stuff. So I hope I'm not rambling, y'all. This has just been literally a journey for me. And because my baby needed something to eat, I said, I'm just gonna go get some Enfamil. I'm gonna go back to the Enfamil Gentlease and see how she does with it until I can figure out what to do next. And I actually missed something. While we were still using Similac, my dad had asked me if I had ever heard of Bobbie formula. I believe he texted me, and I'm like, no, I've never heard of it. I'll have to do my research. He said, well, I saw them on CBS Mornings, and one of the founders was talking about it, and yeah, I just was curious if you've heard of it. I'm like, no, but I'm gonna look them up. So I looked up Bobbie on Instagram, and it's an organic formula. I just did my research. I read the reviews, was trying to figure out what they were all about. This was prior to the recall. So then the recall happened. I said, let me do a little bit more research, but you order it online. So I'm like, I need formula right now, today. And I didn't want to buy a formula we never used because, again, I did not want my baby to experience another formula that we're only going to use for 2 weeks, a week, whatever. So went and purchased the Enfamil Gentlease, started her on that. And the first day she drank it. Like, I'm telling you, Layla loves milk. Layla has not been a baby that has been picky about taste or whatever. Like, she been drinking a bottle. She might spit up. She might get a little gassy, but she drank the milk without hesitation. When she spit up, it wasn't like no just a little spit up. It was like a lot. And I'm like, okay, it's the first day back on it. Maybe it will improve. It didn't. It did not improve. She continued to spit up. And once I realized she wasn't doing good with the Enfamil, I ordered that Bobbie. I ordered the Bobbie and said, we're going to give it a try. Because some of the reviews said that Bobbie helped their babies with reflux issues, spitting up, and they had good poop ratings. So I said, all right, I'm going to order it. We're going to see. And Bobbie is a subscription-based service. So you can order it online and they'll deliver it to your home. And before you like fully subscribe, you can order 2 cans. And your first order, you can buy one, get one free. So I got 2 cans and said, we're going to try it. So I would say a week and a half later, the Bobbie arrived, but we were still using the Enfamil. And because we already had purchased the Enfamil, I said, I just want to use this up until it's gone, so we don't have this leftover formula that can't be returned. And I don't plan on going back to the Enfamil, so I'm like, let me just use it until it's gone. And so we used it, and she still spit up. She was spitting up. And I'm like, yeah, this Enfamil's not it. So now we're about to get into the show and tell portion. So, Bobbie Organic Infant Formula, milk-based powder with iron, DHA and ARA, no corn syrup, and no palm oil. Show us your Bobbies. Woo! Packaging is super cute. Super cute. I love it. To give a little information about Bobbie, again, it's organic formula. It's founded by moms. They have a couple brick and mortar stores, but they are primarily online. You go to their website, and if you're a first-time customer, you could do the buy one, get one free. But after that first purchase, you can only buy the Bobbie in, I believe, like 4, 6, 8, or 10 bundles. And you can set the amount in your subscription account, and depending on the amount you set, that's how many will arrive to you every month. And you can set what day you want your shipment to be sent out. And after you set that date, the shipment will ship within like 5 to 8 days after that. This is 14.1 ounces. They're kind of pricey. Each can of Bobbie is $26. So the last shipment I got, which arrived yesterday, I got 10 cans. That is $260 for some formula. And that's like approximately a month's supply. Woo child. So, giving formula to a baby can be out of convenience in some ways and inconvenience in them pockets, okay? I still breastfeed, just not all day, every day. We've had a good experience with Bobbie thus far. It's pricey, but her spit up has decreased. Her poops have become regular. I already said Bobbie has a great poop rating. They have a great poop rating. Not to put my baby business out there, but Layla poops every day. Every day. Okay? Before using Bobbie, she did not. She pooped most days or at least every other day, but with Bobbie, she is definitely regular. I appreciate that. She drinks it like she loves it. Bobbie is a European style formula that is approved by the FDA. It is made in the USA, but is a European style formula. Get you some Bobbie. As for most formulas, 1 scoop is for 2 fluid ounces. If you're making a 4-ounce bottle, that would be 2 scoops. If you're making an 8-ounce bottle, that would be 4 scoops. I'm gonna read to you something that is on the can. It says, "Moms created Bobbie for our own babies and yours. While there are undoubtedly benefits to breast milk, the Bobbie team knows breastfeeding doesn't always work out, and that's just fine. Here's our best for your best, the Bobbie team." I love it because it was made for moms like me. Whether you are completely formula feeding, you're breastfeeding and you decide that you want to go the formula route, or you're combo feeding and you do both, it's a formula that can work for any scenario, any situation. It's just a little pricey, but I'd rather spend money for something that is not going to make my baby sick than save money and have a recall. Point blank, period. I'll pay for a little less stress. Something that I want to talk about, kind of like a final note on Bobbie, is that I got an email just yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it was just saying that, you know, there is a US shortage of formula, but they said rest assured that if you are currently subscribed, you will receive the formula that you order. And they even are temporarily suspending access to subscription for a couple weeks because they're kind of at max capacity. So they just want to ensure that they're getting their customers, their subscribers, the formula that they need before they accept new customers and have not enough for the masses. So I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, knowing that I will be able to purchase formula for her because I'm subscribed. And if you are subscribed, you have free shipping. That's a perk to being subscribed to Bobbie. You got guaranteed access to the formula and free shipping. So check out Bobbie if you are expecting in the future. Check it out. And granted, I just said that they closed the subscription for a couple weeks they will open it back up soon, and they even said that in the email. If what I just said about them closing the subscription for a couple weeks is discouraging to you, rest assured you should not be discouraged, because if you think about it, babies are typically only going to be on formula until they are 12 months, if that. And Bobbie customers are always going to be going in a cycle. There will always be new customers, and there will always be customers that are on their way out. Don't be discouraged. You should be able to get in sometime soon. So just when y'all thought I had it all figured out, I slacked a little bit on this most recent Bobbie order. This was technically my third Bobbie shipment, but it was my third because my first one was only the 2 cans. The second shipment was 8 cans, and this last shipment was 10 cans. So when I ordered the 8 cans, I'm like, oh, this should last, you know, this should last till the next shipment. And I realized I was going to be a day or two short. Just when you thought you had it figured out. Thought I had it kind of timed out perfectly, but when I ordered it, I'm like, okay, it'd be like 5 days. So granted, they did ship it out in 5 days, but the weekend did come. And you know, with USPS, you're not getting that package till the next week. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? My baby gonna need formula again. And I can't just buy Bobbie at the store. That's one downside to Bobbie. Unless you are close to an actual Bobbie store or a store that carries it, which is few and far between, you kind of SOL until that package arrives. So I went to Amazon and like, let me find some organic formula or something that can hold me over for 2 days. And again, y'all, this is a no judgment zone, and this is my YouTube, so I can be as honest as I need to be. I had to give my baby another kind of formula because that's just what I had to do. So I went on Amazon. I found this. This is Earth's Best Organic Gentle Infant Formula with iron milk based powder. It says easy to digest proteins for fussiness, gas, and crying. No artificial growth hormones, USDA organic, no GMO, organic grass and grain-fed cows. This is 21 ounces. And it says no added cornstarch solids. I'm not gonna lie, I have not gone through every single ingredient on here and compared it to the Bobbie, which is all these right here. I have not compared them one-on-one. I've looked over them, glanced over them, kind of looked at some key ingredients. And one thing I can say that this has, that this one does not have, is the palm oil. This one is no palm oil, and this one for a fact says palm oil. So, you know, that is one thing I can definitely say is a difference. I'm sure there are other differences, but that's the first major thing that I picked up on. If y'all can get past the palm oil, this might be a pro for this one and a con for this one. The price. $26 for 14.1 ounces. This was $27 and some odd cents via Amazon for 21 ounces. 26 for 14, 27 or 28 for 21. When I first got this, I said, wait a minute. You know, when you order on Amazon, I really wasn't looking at the ounces. I just needed some formula. I just needed 1 can of formula to hold me over for 2 days. When I had this in my hand and realized the size comparison, I just was like, I see you, Earth's Best Organic Bobbie, $2.60 for a month. But my baby on Bobbie, and I plan on keeping her on this. But because I had this in the last couple days, this is how much I used. And y'all, it's 2 scoops in there because as you use formula, you just collect them. And sometimes in formula cans, these scoops are buried under, like in the middle of the powder formula. And I just threw one of the ones that I had in there until the other one finally was visible, and I just haven't taken it out yet. I would say over the last 2 days that we were using the formula, it's been pretty good. I would say it is a good stand-in fill-in for Bobbie. I'm gonna switch Layla back to Bobbie tomorrow morning, and I'm just gonna keep this for the rainy days. If I ever have any more slip-ups where my Bobbie shipment is not going to be here in time, I'll just keep this for the rainy days. And I know that this can be a backup if I ever need it. I would say that she still was pooping. The last 2 days she pooped good. Both days she was using it. When you receive your Bobbie package, it comes with a little information card. And it gives like a guide on how much does my baby need. So based on how old your baby is by month, like how many ounces they are approximately gonna need. It has just some information about the formula, its composition. It has information about their brand. It says, have you heard? We're a triple threat, certified pesticide free. They have the Clean Label Project Purity Award, and they are USDA organic. It says clean from the start. Bobbie is the first ever and only infant formula brand to receive the Clean Label Project Purity Award and pesticide free certification. Why are they the only ones? Huh? Why are they the only ones? To you, Bobbie. Thank you, Bobbie. We love you, Bobbie. Keeping our babies healthy and safe. I digress. It says, did you know 83% of parents in the U.S. will turn to formula? Based on a 2019 Wakefield research study of 1,000 U.S. moms who only have children under the age of 2. It says a note from our founders. So these are the founders. We envision a parenting culture of confidence, not comparison. The reason you're here is the same reason why we started Bobbie, a desire to feed your baby something you are proud of. It was our own disappointment with the current formula options available to parents in the U.S. that inspired us to create our own, and so Bobbie was born. We know firsthand that feeding is a journey. We are so proud to be part of yours. Bottles up, Laura and Sarah. Thank you. This is nice, and they're tear apart, so It's perforated so you can tear it, and like how to make the Bobbie, it says in the corner, tear and put it on the fridge. So it's very convenient. Bobbie, y'all know pricey, but y'all got it going on. Y'all got directions, y'all got information, y'all are transparent about everything. Y'all packaging is so cute, it's so lovable, and y'all doing it. So go Bobbie. The expiration date for Bobbie is October 26th, 2023. So it is over a year out, which is good. You know, we don't want no formula that's about to expire. The expiration date for Earth's Best is January 16th, 2024. So even better. Y'all, I'm trying my best. This is a learning experience, and it can be overwhelming, can be stressful, but feed your babies. That's it. Just feed your babies. You know, do what's best for you, do what's best for them, and you can't go wrong. Y'all, fed is best. I'm still going to continue to breastfeed Layla as long as I can. I do believe that there are nutrients and benefits that babies receive from breast milk, but your baby gotta eat. And formula got DHA, ARA. It might not have everything that breast milk has, but your baby's gonna be full, and they're gonna eat. They're gonna have food. So, yeah. I hope I touched on everything that I wanted to, because it kind of was a lot. This is going to be a long video, but I hope that this was helpful to you all. I hope that this can be an encouragement to moms that may struggle with breastfeeding, or, you know, feel that there is a stigma with formula feeding, and this is a no judgment zone. So do what works for you. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any comments, concerns, you can comment them. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys.